my mom, Francine. Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
And we're here to do a really special edition of our Tulare County Food Collaborative series. And it's all about Dia De Los Muertos coming up here pretty soon. And so it's a time to remember our families, to celebrate culture and tradition, and also to honor and remember those who have passed before us. And so a big part of that obviously is food. For Dia De Los Muertos, we leave out food and recipes and things that our loved ones liked while they were here with us on Earth. And so we're going to celebrate my grandparents. And this is them over there, Desi and Margaret Barraza, my mom's parents. Say something.
Yes. They were my parents for a long time. But my mom, she already passed away like 23 years ago. And my dad, he just passed away about 7 years ago. So we want to honor them and remember them. And this is our way to show how much we still love them and how much we appreciate everything they did for us and the things that they passed on to us, and we will pass them on to the next generation as well.
So today we're going to be making Tamale Pie Casserole, one of my grandpa's favorite dishes and one that my grandma would make for him all the time. And contrary to the name, there are no tamales in it. It's a casserole, but it tastes a lot like tamales. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to make this recipe. It's really, really simple, and you can also tweak it to your own likes and dislikes. There's lots of wiggle room in here, but it's just really easy and very tasty. So we're going to start with our wet ingredients. So we have 1 can of cream corn right here. So we're going to add that here. And then we also have a can of whole kernel corn. We're going to throw that in there. And then we have 1 egg. And we have 1/2 cup of milk right here. We have some diced canned chilies here. You can use whatever kind of chilies you like. I like to add a little bit of spice to mine, so I might add a jalapeno in there, but you need to just make sure to cook them beforehand. But we're just going to use the diced Anaheim chilies in here.
That's what makes it so easy, is that so many of the ingredients come from a can. It takes no time at all to assemble.
And we have a 1/4 cup of oil as well. So then we're going to mix all that.
Put the salt and the pepper.
Also with salt and pepper to taste.
I'm going to whisk it a little bit to make sure that the egg gets completely scrambled into the wet ingredients.
So while we do this too, we also like to remember our families and remember stories about them. And my grandpa and I was an only child and an only grandchild, and so my grandpa and I were really, really close. And we kind of got into a whole lot of shenanigans together as we were growing up. And so anytime that we would go missing, our family would know that we were out there together, usually either getting ice cream or doing something goofy together. So that's how I remember my grandpa. And he also taught me a lot about money and about construction. He was a general contractor in LA and built a lot of the buildings down in LA, including the federal building. He was the first Latino to ever get a federal contract, building contract. And so that was all back in the 50s, and affirmative action also really helped with that. And my grandmother was smart, and so she did all the bookkeeping and all the business end of that while he was out building houses.
Yes. She was unbelievably smart. She was like the brains behind the brawn. My dad was a really hard worker all his life, from the time he was a little boy. And so until the day he died, until the moment that he died, he was working. And So we're just so happy to do this for them. And we want everybody to remember their loved ones as we remember our loved ones. And my mom and dad were very close, and they were married for 50 years. And it was just such a joy to be with them. And they were very adventurous. They traveled all over the world. They did so many things. They helped organizations all over. They had whatever they had, they gave to other people. They were very, very generous and loving people.
And you can see over there in the pictures as well, the big picture there is their wedding picture. And you'll see my grandmother sitting there with Ricardo Montalban. She was a breast cancer survivor, and so she was also a representative for the American Cancer Society, and so they always put her on TV shows, and she got to meet a bunch of movie stars and such, and you can tell she was obviously very beautiful, so they liked having her on camera all the time.
She attracted attention everywhere she went.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, she was so beautiful.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and continue here. We also have one full onion diced up that we're gonna add. And we also have some cheese here that's gonna make things really, really tasty. Again, like, you can decide what kind of cheese that you like. I usually add more than a cup of cheese. The recipe calls for a cup, but I might add a little bit more than that.
Well, there's a cup in the mixture and then another cup that goes on top at the very end.
And you can use whatever kind of cheese fits your fancy. This is cheddar.
The sharper the better, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Has more flavor.
And then we're also going to do two teaspoons of baking powder. And 1 cup of cornmeal, and you can use yellow or white. Right now we have white, so we're just gonna throw that all in there.
So we're gonna fold in the dry ingredients in here. Make sure there aren't any lumps. Make sure everything gets incorporated. And that's it. It's a very, very simple recipe.
Really, really easy and really, really tasty.
So we have here, I think, an 8 by 8 inch Pyrex, which I've already sprayed. So we're just gonna pour it into here. And then Nicole can finish putting the rest of the cheddar cheese on the top.
I love lots of cheese, so cheese it up to your heart's content. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven, uncovered, at 400 degrees for an hour.
It's a good idea to let it set for 5 or 10 minutes after you take it out of the oven so that it'll solidify a little bit and it'll scoop out really nicely and it'll look like a tamale pie. So it's just so delicious. I remember my mom making this since we were kids. She also worked when we were small, so she had to have a lot of really quick and easy recipes to make when she came home from work. So this was my dad's favorite. He loved this with pork chops.
So we put the casserole in the oven for about an hour, a little bit less if you have a convection oven, so it's ready.
About 15 minutes less on a convection oven because you have the air circulating, so everything cooks a little bit quicker on a convection oven.
And here it is. Nice and warm and bubbly. You want the nice brown.
Let me show you. You can see how by putting the cheddar cheese on top, it makes like a beautiful crust on the top.
Yeah, we'll serve some up. It's usually good to let it sit too for a little bit, but we can't wait. nice and hot and delicious. I'm gonna try some.
I hope you make it because it's worth the small trouble of making it. It actually takes like less than 10 minutes to put the whole thing together.
And now for the test.
Sopra. Soprano. Is it good? We went ahead and put a whole 2 cans of chili in them because I think the chili is what really makes it. It's delicious. Very good.
Really great for Thanksgiving and Christmas, so join us in making it this year. Thanks.
Have fun. Happy holidays, everybody.